I certainly want to thank Mr. Barker and all of you for coming out this evening. Now, I want to say something and address Mr. Barker and all of you here that profess to be atheists. I do love you, and I certainly care about not just your material body, but also your soul. You see, when I look at Mr. Barker tonight, I see a man that was made in the image of God. But I also see a man who is suppressing the truth. I see a man who is a blasphemer. The things that Mr. Barker has said today is nothing new. In fact, he said it in his book called Godless as well. In fact, he also said that in the Bible, if heaven and hell exists, I would choose hell. Pretending to worship a petty tyrant who tortures those who insult his authority would be more hellish than baking in eternal flames. Now, what I have to say to Mr. Barker, and also to all of you that are here today, is that you don't understand hell and you do not understand God. You see, here's the thing. In a civilian court of law, you have rights. If you get in trouble, you have rights. You have an opportunity for plea deal, probation, plea deal, community service. But in the divine court of law, you will have no rights. You will have no bail. You will have no plea deal. You will have no community service. When you die without Jesus Christ, you will stand before the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings, and you will lie there naked, and you will be prostrate. And there will be no moderation or mercy. He will not forbear the executions of his wrath. He will hold you in derision and speak to you in his wrath and distress you in his deep displeasure. And let me explain to you something here. Jonathan Edwards once said, "In the sinners of the hands of an angry God." He said, when God holds you over the pits of hell, the same way one holds a loathsome insect and he abhors you and he is dreadfully provoked. And at that moment, when God propels you into hell with wrathful rebukes, you will have a long time to realize just how wrong you were, and you cannot say that you were not warned. There is hope. And let me explain to you that hope. There's only one hope, and his name is Jesus Christ. Now, let me explain to you something Jesus Christ did, okay? And this is great hope, because it's the only hope you have. He came into this world. Remember, the fullness of time, he became man, and he continues to be God and man in two entire distinct natures, yet one person forever. And guess what he did? He perfectly obeyed the law, something you and I could never do. And then guess what else happened then? He went to the cross. He was stapled to a tree, which caused the weight of his body to rest upon a peg, with his feet nailed inside of it. And guess what happened? With his ineffable justice, God trampled his son with the inexpressible fierceness of his justice. Guess what happened? He died. On the third day, he rose again, gloriously and miraculously for the justification of sinners. As a result, he exhausted the Father's favor. He procured reconciliation. He purchased his peculiar people. Do you not understand this right here? This is your only hope. That is why I'm going to plead to you today. Again, you cannot simply just accept him. I'm not asking you to walk an aisle at church or simply say this prayer. No merit on the part of man or any works performed by us could ever add to his completed or saving work. In fact, let me leave you with some final words by John Calvin. He said something that is so beautiful about the gospel. He said, a man will be justified by faith when, excluded from the righteousness of works, he by faith lays hold of the righteousness of Christ, and being clothed in it, he appears in the sight of God not as a sinner, but as righteous. Turn to the Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you very much.